Some house rules. Number 1, don't get your computer wet. Number 2, don't feed it after midnight. And number 3, don't use sunlight on it. And number 4, people who comment on this about me ranting, raving, making fun, or commenting on it, and acting like I only riff and are only angry all the time and only make fun of a whole bunch of stories and only make fun of stories and make fun of other people's stories will, in fact, be reminded that they chose to do this on their own terms when, in fact, they could have been reading another story. Wow! That's an important lesson to learn. Remember, you clicked on this. You are watching this. You have choices. Day of the Broken Fang. Probably the longest video on this channel. Well, right up there with the Heroes of Odin chapters, but that's neither here nor there. Wherein I read an epic tale of heartbreak, war, and Decepticons kicking Cobra ass. And then you can follow that up with its sequel story, Elements of Harmony and Savior of Worlds. You can read those, you can listen to those two for a while. But for the rest of you, welcome back to Darkness of Dimensions by Mikey, who just posted up a new blog. Yay. I did not read it. Yay. Because I don't read these things. I do read chapters. Act 18, How to Carry On. Author's note. You know, Maiken will sometimes go back to his previous works and will change anything and will sometimes add things because of something that somebody says. So, right now, try to remember if there was this author's note here before the update yesterday. I don't think this author note was here. I think he added it. Wow. But still, it doesn't matter if it was an accident or the mortals were directly involved. They were told not to be involved, period. Not even by accident. They disobeyed, now they have paid. That doesn't sound evil at all, folks! Nope. That sounds perfectly like a bunch of people who are just minding their own business. And not like a bunch of villains who deserve to get their asses handed to them. Yep. Because as we all know, if you do something by accident, you deserve to be punished. So, yep, if you break a glass, you need to have your fingers cut off. Because forgiveness is an illusion. Brought on by morons like this, who think that the bad guys should be the right. And I swear to God, I am not kidding. Walk with a depressing, stern, and serious look while listening to Linus and Lucy from Charlie Brown for the Peanut Special. Yep, that upbeat, happy tune he walks serious and sternly to. This guy would be depressing to the Muppets. Actually, the Fuel Era, being 500 years in the past, did not suffer the Dark Apocalypse. The Going Era friends were completely unaware of any of it happening at all, as they slept in the guest room of the palace. Sadly, Suyi was having a hard time falling asleep at all. How could she, after all that happened that day? Losing more guards, the monkey dead, and she learned the truth of Nobunaga's feelings. She just lay awake in her futon, while her husband was fast asleep beside her. She kept casually looking out the window, hoping to catch a glimpse of Nobunaga's dark angel. Only to remember he had witnessed his friend Hiyoshimaru die that day. So he saw something fly past. It bolted up excitedly, but it was only a crow. Loser! Princess? Kimo said as he awoke. But he didn't have to ask to see she wasn't alright, and obviously still fair. This was confirmed once he turned to face it with tears in her eyes. Whatever he was to do with her. Beheading? He hated seeing her so upset and distraught. Even he himself retained his own remorse and stuff. All he could do now was comfort his wife. That's right, you woman, you! Embrace your That's right, only you can embrace your emotions, not like I'm men. Meanwhile, out in the vast fields, Kikyo was standing near the bony ear as well. And just being next to her, she could feel something dark and terrible. Even her soul collectors were looking, moving uneasily, as something was bothering them. I don't know what has happened, she thought to herself, but I fear this is the great darkness I have been sensing. Even before this great darkness, I feel even Naraku's power would be as nothing. I just had a thought about the whole Naraku's power at Dark Aura. We'll get to that when we get to those chapters, but I just had a thought. She could sense another presence near her. It's a Sumeru, she said without even turning around. Fancy finding you here, said Sumeru. If you are near, then you also must be as well. Kikyo had smug. Sorry to disappoint you. I see. Yes, Sumeru. Should you see him, let him know this. I am aware of what has been transpiring. I will not rest until I have gained what I want from him. Even though you seem pretty restful throughout most of the story. I mean, you don't even attack that often. But then again, I know what great characters look like, and I don't try to push them into one category. I ain't even waiting for Kikyo to respond. He walked back towards Shaken and Rin, who was waiting for him. You get the little information, my lord, asked Shaken. His master would not answer, just continued to walk. Very well, then. Why do I think Maiken playing Curse of the Demon Mask on the Inuasa PS2 game would attack Sesshomaru or be wondering why Sesshomaru doesn't attack him? Koga wasn't too far away either, at his own campsite. Went down the hill and saw, is this Sesshomaru? What's he doing way out here? No matter for that, Koga didn't seem to care that much. He had his own little business to attend to, like getting even with Naraku for possessing him with that jewel shard. Yeah, that's the brunt of Koga and Sesshomaru's interactions. Although the actual episode was funnier. The next morning, Inuasa and company awoke. But when they all sat down to a royal banquet for breakfast, they noticed Tsuyu was barely eating. Is everything all right, princess? Asked Kagome. Tsuyu let out a soft yawn. Forgive me, I did not sleep well, Kara. Lord Kimo had his hung low, and Tsuyu's father was deeply concerned. Perhaps you were far too shaken from their dreadful attack in the village the other day. That was all he knew. He had no way of hearing about what Tsuyu had learned of Nobunaga. Oroku suggested, this may seem rather rash, but perhaps a mild sedative will help the princess put her mind at ease, so she may rest. Sago agreed. We could gather the necessary herbs and things to make it. Lord Hime and Kimo agreed it was best, but Kagome stood up and said, no, I could just bed back home and bring something to help work a lot better. It involves a mallet. Kagome! What? I just want to try and help. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just saying it would be better if we all stay together. Got a point. What if Naraku's out there waiting to get us all again? Oh, you know how this works. Naraku attacks for a couple of episodes, then takes a break, and then we have a bunch of other side adventures. Kagome realized this, but still wanted to help the princess. She knew her modern world relief medicines from her time. She knew the trick much better. Going and that's that. She then excused herself and headed out of the palace to work off on her bike, as he had brought with her. Way up! Growling Inuasa. He looked out the window. Down the hill and chased after her. He wasn't willing to let her go off on the wilderness unprotected. The others simply ignored and continued to enjoy their food. Hey, where's Miyoka? I'm pretty positive he's off for his own breakfast, said Sango. Indeed, Miyoka was hopping around the village, slicking bits of blood out of any beautiful women he could find, and he managed to avoid being slapped. You know, I have to ask. We're bringing in almost every single character of Inuyasha, but besides the incarnations of Naraku, why not also bring in Tadosai? Raku could picture it now, looked dismayed. There's one preferred flea. Sango and Shippo expressed slow look down. Look who's talking. Roku pretended not to notice. Although he was paying attention to Sango's well-fine ass. I was thinking, oh, he is going to tap that. Several years later, he does. Roku pretended to take no notice. Suddenly, something flew past the large shadows, making Shuyu look up again. It was a leaf loose in the breeze. Now everyone was really concerned for her. Soon Kagome and Iwasa arrived at the well. I'll be back as soon as I can. Iwasa nodded and watched Kagome jump in the well. Kagome still managed to transport through time to her own era. Question! How does that work? The sacred tree is gone. The well is gone. The two vital components that would actually connect her to the modern era are gone. How does that work other than plot convenience? Plot convenience! Look, I know. Gotta ignore canon in order to make the rules work. She knew how dark it was. She could barely see from her face. Hey, she sighed. She looked up to the opening and saw it was blocked. Sota! She grumbled, figuring he had closed up the well as a prank again. She was able to find the ladder, climbed it up, and tried to push the cover off, only to find how heavy it was. Hey! She called, Mom! Grandp! Haha! Oto-san! Open up! Let me out! Sorry, she would. She felt the whole house was sitting over the opening. I better get Iwasa. So she went back to the field area and came back with him. And in one rush, Iwasa burst through to reveal a ton of rubble was covering the well. Huh? Cried Kagome. What's going on? Where's all this rubble coming from? Oh no. Did they do a post-apocalypse without me? You maniacs! You blew it up! Kagome! Shouted Iwasa. Get up here! Now! He sounded more concerned and demanding. Kagome couldn't get up the ladder fast enough, and once he saw May herself, what the fuck? Kagome went and cussed like that. Shrine, it was totaled. Hardly anything left but broken planks, fallen shingles, and charred sheets. Way beyond was worse. It was darker than night. Not so dark that you couldn't see yourself, but it was eerie, just like the Dark Zone. Is it just me? Am I the only person out there who's not afraid of the dark? Do I just look at the night and go, nice, and just smile and enjoy the nighttime? Oh wait, I forgot, this is Mikan. He probably is scared of little kittens with sparkles covered in glitter. The skies had been keying the same stormy clouds, yet the sun was shining through them. It was all dark, as if it had been set to power. So, how was the sun shining through them? Oh, for Pete's sake, is this another one of those I'm trying to insert a visual aspect into a literary medium? Because that's not how you describe that. I know what he's trying to say. You know how in anime, you'll see a bunch of rolling black clouds, but you'll see the sun in between them? That's what he's trying to describe. However, the way he's wording it doesn't sound like it. It sounds more like the sun is still poking through. The temperature was only cooler, but Kagome looked around and saw her home, her neighborhood. Her whole entire town was a dark ruined. All the buildings were in ruins. The grounds were all beat up and it's dark and eerie. Worse than that, there were still bones and skulls about. T2 reference? Okay. One of those skulls got crushed by a robot. Chloe fell to her knees, felt her heart shattering and stomach turning. Tears were flowing down her face. She was so devastated she couldn't speak. She couldn't break out. She was so devastated she couldn't break out sobbing. Images of her family passed through her eyes. I'm sorry. I know this is supposed to be a dark, serious scene, but I'm thinking images of her family passed through her eyes. Oh, little Mars, little Bart, little Lisa, little Maggie. Sometimes when I'm suffering through a bad fanfic, the only thing I can think of is Simpsons, and that helps me get through my day. No guessing. They were gone. Everyone was gone. So is this going to be a cool Fist of the North Star apocalypse, or is this going to be an overly bloody Finance Jack apocalypse? Oh, don't tell me this is the Finance Jack apocalypse. Beak! Yeah! Ah, shit. Kagome, run! What the hell happened? And you also wondered. Suddenly, something flew past overhead, and you also looked up. No question what he saw. Dark Angel. But how could I see them? Saba's translator Kagome suddenly collapsed to the ground. Kagome! He scooped her up, and you also realized he was overcome with grief. Decided the best chance was to take her to the field era, since there was absolutely nothing to stay around here for. He turned back and leapt to the well, not even bothering to question how it survived whatever happened. I want to question it. I would like to know how this happened. No. Then again, I'm trying to figure out how it seems that Erebus is ignoring the past, even though dimensional and temporal and transference and travel being, as it were, no. What did we say about using quantum mechanics? Don't do it. It'll break everybody's mind. All right. Then again, it is kind of asshole-less to blame all dimensions on the actions of 3 groups of mortals. No! You shouldn't! Oh wait, I forgot the author's note. It doesn't matter if the mortals didn't interfere by accident. They were told not to interfere, so thus everybody is going to pay. Problem with that. You are blaming everyone on the actions of a few. When it was only 3 worlds. Equestria, Titans, and Digimon. You are blaming the actions. You're blaming every mortal out there in existence on the actions of 3 worlds. So thus, everyone has to pay. That is low. That is evil. That is cruel. Just because one person in a group does something doesn't mean that everyone should be punished. This is genocide, and genocide is never justified. No, worse, it's omnicide. And just because one group of people do something doesn't mean you punish everyone. That type of thinking leads to things like Soviet Russia. It leads to mass graves. It leads to dictators. It leads to monsters. And only monsters think this way. And yeah, it's also cruel when teachers do it too. Another Dark Angel happened to be passing by and cast a glimpse of Inuyasha jumping into the well. Mortals? He questioned. How could that be? We eradicated all the immortals. He quickly flew off to inform his superior. How does no one know about this well? No, I don't get this. How does nobody know about this fucking well? Erebus is supposed to be this god being, right? He's supposed to have had people from all time and all dimensions show up. You mean to tell me that in all of his infinite legacy, in all of his all-powerfulness, he didn't have a single other guy from Inuyasha's time say, oh yeah, there's this well that goes between dimensions, it goes between timelines. Nobody from that time said this. Nobody mentioned the Bony as well. He didn't find out about this. No one knew. And yes, to anybody who might think I'm over-examining this, no, it is a plot hole. Because that thing had been there forever. It had been there for a very, very long time. And you're telling me that only one person from Inuyasha's time, only one, fit the categories for the whole Dark Aura thing. Only one person? Kind of weak. And then, they're telling me, no one, he couldn't find anybody else to ask. He even said, I have other agents within the Nephiel era. Nobody tells him these things? How do you not know of this? Hell, Nobunaga's a free spirit. He probably could have seen Kagami pop up a couple of times and mention it. How does he not know of this? In the digital world, hundreds of thousands of Disney descent from all over the world, children, teenagers, and even a few grown-ups alike, and safely poured in before what happened. The fields were full, beaches were crowded. It was a general population bomb. What? Okay. The digital world is vast because it's made out of technology. Just because you threw together a bunch of children and teenagers does not make it a population bomb. You can't do that. Especially since everybody would be having their own digital burner by now. The League Dizzy Destined group all met up together. I think so, answered Sora, so most of her friends. Mimi was curled on the ground, shaking with terrible fear. I cannot believe what happened. Can't either. What the hell happened? A bunch of stupid shit that I fast forward through. Izzy, though he himself was battling his own depression, explained what had happened with the Dark Angels after TK and Kari caused Ken's D3 to go berserk. The Angels were angry, Izzy said sorrowfully. They vowed to take over, claim the worlds as they know. I knew it'd be safe to report it here, because the Dark Angels can't seem to affect the digital world. Why? They can't affect the digital world. Why? The digital world and the human world are linked. The digital world was created by the human world. No human world means no digital world. Just as everyone did feel so relieved to be safe and alive. But our world, said Yuli, our homes and families, what about them? Yuli, you saw it, I saw it, we all saw it. All gone. All of it, Cody sobbed. Yuli can't cuddle around him and try and comfort him. But what good would it do? Oh, I can feel better about himself. Many tearful sobs were heard over a distance, as many of the children wept for the loss of pretty much everything they did. Ty was curled on the ground, his face burning in his knees, sobbing softly. Dude, Kari, Mom, Dad! Master there always was, clenching his quavering fists. A single tear fell from his eye. Bing! The gang all sat on the grass, hardly able to feel the coolness of it, as overcome with sadness and sorrows beyond imagination. Kari felt a cool breeze tickling her face, and slowly began to awaken. First thing she saw was Gatomon looking down at her. Kari? Kari felt very weary and could hardly find the strength to move at first. Gatomon, she asked, what's happening? Am I dreaming? Am I dead? Gatomon was so happy to see her that a happy tear fell from her eye, splashing on Kari's face. I am alive! Tiny! Gatomon leapt as he lifted her in a big bear hug. Was made Kairi find all her strength. No one wants to see her hug her back. Only realized where she was. The dark ocean? This made her remember how the real world was crumbling into darkness. She and TK both ran into each other, glowing with darkness, before they blacked out. Now Kairi was beginning to weep softly. Okay! So, I'm going to destroy all dimensions and all worlds. Has not destroyed the digital world and the dark ocean. If he does not end up destroying Discord's realm, I am going to point out that he sucks so hard. Kairi, what is it? Come on. Patamon called as he and TK came walking along. TK had woken earlier, but he too looked as grim as Kairi. Now Gatomon was really concerned. Patamon explained what TK had told him. No way. Tell me it isn't true. But judging from Kairi's weeping and TK's griminess, it was true. The human world and all the worlds beyond it were taken over by the Dark Angels. TK fell to the knee and punched the sand hard, but he couldn't find any words to say. I could. Boo! 53 years ago, when he first came to America from Sicily, it was merely 3-year-old Giuseppe Scarlato. When he was 9, he Americanized his name to Jerry Sky. Over the following 40 years, Jerry accumulated a fortune by joining a family business. That's the family, not his family. Psst, Sky, whatever it is, later. Now, payroll activation. Okay, now. Jerry, what's wrong? Nothing, don't do it. Enjoy. It's better be good. You have a couple of boys who have been causing you trouble. Yes, Piccolo and Robinson. How did you know? I just do. You can take him out and Batman at the same time. 2 for the price of 1. Tomorrow, the Sly Brothers warehouse, 2 a.m. Go back to your nice wife. Fat lady's about to say. I did it. I sent him to Heist. Batman's going to get it. Aren't you pleased? Where are you? I said, are you pleased with what I did? You there now? Sale for 12 hours only. 40% off of all men's, women's clothing. Now, I don't mind 40% of women's off clothes, but men, keep your pants on. Let's not congratulate ourselves yet, pal. We still got work to do and bats to kill. I know, even if I don't want. So get going. Down to Art Stempler's Closers, 246 of 8th Street. Take the elevator to the 2nd floor. What? Where are you? Don't go. Don't let me alone just by myself. It's me. 1. Angrily, the man in the trench coat proceeds to beat on the radio. Alright, calm down. No one's been here. No one's been here. I'm talking to myself. Saying things. Batman still has to die. Tomorrow. The 22nd. Dies. Tomorrow. Elsewhere at Titan's Tower, a young man watches. There, Titan's Tower. It's a matter of time now. They're inside. He'll have to leave sometime. Troyland and Tinsley. Good. The meeting's over. Strange. Starfire's leaving alone. But Dick Grayson lives with her. He usually leaves with her. Cyborg and Jericho? Not with them either. Steve's definitely wrong. Twig admits he still can't be inside, but he's not. Where is he? I gotta find him. The young man leaves Titan's Tower and continues to view, watching from the window. Lives here, but can't leave for him forever. Got back to my hotel by 6. I know what to do. He then sees Starfire dressed in a very nice lingerie. She's only carrying 1 dinner. She's not here. I gotta find out where he's going. Gotta take the risk. Gotta speak to her. Now. Gotham City. Word hit the street last night. Something's going down at Spidey's Brothers. He's been sitting here since 11, waiting, thinking. Time slowly passing below him. Each minute vibrates, shocking him out of his reverie, reminding him of his solitude. Gears jerk into place, paused and crank in an endless circle. He waits, sits. You sure this is the place, man?
Yeah, Slice Brothers, this has got to be it.
Don't like it here, man. Don't like coming here during the day. I'm alone now.
Not being paid like it, come on.
Excellent, pal. They're all in place. But the rooftop, Batman makes his move.
Books, I don't get it, man. We're still in books? Well said we were being paid to by the publishers. They sell the insurance and then sell them at a discount street carriers. You get their money twice, and the writers get zip. But books, man? Who reads books?
You said.
Who said?
From all the raptors, the Dark Knight leaps. Keep unfurling. A grim fishes amongst the shadows.
Batman! The boss said he so, just like he did for the Ravager.
We were ready. Instantly, Batman rolls and dodges and balls and weaves out of the way of the gunfire. And then finally, leaps up to the great, swings back on and slams a bunch of books onto the Tube's henchmen.
You're dead meat, Batman. Dead meat.
Alfred's voice keeps running through his mind.
We're not brutalizers. We've got to think with our heads, not our fists. Think with our heads.
Think! The bullets once again shoot, and Batman hides behind a forklift. Oh no.
Think!
Something is wrong. Something. Punk mentioned the Ravager. There's a connection with the Ravager. Like with all heads, not with all fists. Batman reaches in and turns on the forklift. Isolated, unconnected fragments fall into place. 2 weeks ago, 2 policemen killed. 2 weeks before that, brother and sister shot. 2 more victims. Today, the 22nd, 2 a.m. The address, 22nd Street. And then the forklift rides off.
Get ready for action. This is the song. Ready for this comic. Made for Batman, you see. He took the thugs with a forklift.
I never get to use that song! All began. It was all there all along. Sly Brothers warehouse. Sly is storming for 2. Think of your head. He curses himself. What were you doing? Batman knocks the gun out of the way of a gunman and then knocks the guy out. What are you thinking with? Batman knows, he said. Ludicrous answer. He wasn't thinking. He was reacting and acting. Otherwise, he would have realized it long ago. That Two-Face was back! He survived, but that's okay. Every cloud has a silver lining. There's always tomorrow. If at first you don't succeed, all's well that ends well. That's what I always say. You know, I got a door. Commissioner Gordon's office. Batman stands outside the window. Two-Face. You mean the man you broke out of jail, and then let us escape from a Caribbean? That Two-Face will have bound. Any word? Recently an APB for the tri-state area, notifying the FBI. I've canceled leaves, but extra man on duty double shifts. Not expect it'll do any good. Corey turns around, and Batman's gone. I hate talking to myself. Dick's apartment. Hold on, I'll be right there. Yes? Corey Anders, Starfire? You're one of the Titans. I'd like to ask you something. I'm really sorry, but you can't. I'm looking for Nightwing. I've got to find him. It's urgent. Nightwing? Why do you... Is he here? Do you know where he is? I know he wasn't at your meeting today. I'm sorry, I can't give you that information. Nightwing left the Titans several weeks ago. Left the Titans several weeks ago. But if you need our help... No, I need him. Nobody else. Turning away, the young man runs. Wait, did you know where I live? Who are you? Grayson kept his old apartment. If he left the Titans, he might be here. Ray races in and finds a room empty. He's a detective. He must have kept notes. He scribbled something on a shopping list. Grayson, where are you? Hold on just a moment. He finds a newspaper article reading, End of Americana in sight. Local circus is closed after 60 years. Haley Circus, which has entertained children of all ages for more than 60 years, will close this October after their final summer season. Faith Haley, granddaughter of circus founder Grayson Haley, simply can't compete with the larger corporate circuses. The days of the small family circus, sadly, are over. No, the Haley Circus is closing? Can't be. It can't! But at least I now know where he is. Next chapter. I can't believe we can't find him.
I'm doing the best I can.
I'm sorry, Vic. I know. How are you feeling?
Had to be out of bed. It's getting stir crazy. Dick's pager isn't responding. He's technically taking this whole retirement thing seriously. For everything I know, he tried to sell a trace of his nightly computers, but he's still here in New York.
We have to find him. I got to tell him about that kid I spoke to yesterday.
Yeah, hold off. I've been calling Wayne Manor. I don't see we got any choice.
Cyborg links up and puts on the information. Phone files. Locate Wayne, Bruce. Searching. Locate. Call to see. Dying phone number. Ring, 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 ring. Phone call, phone call.
Wayne residence. Oh, yes, of course, I remember you, sir. Did I once polish your armor? No, I haven't seen Master Richard since he left a few days ago. Yes, after the Zuko fiasco. Last know, Master Bruce is also gone. Something to do with the return of Harvey Dent, I believe. Okay, thanks. Take it easy, Elfin.
Back in Titan's tower. This doesn't sound good. It's like he's vanished off the face of the earth.
Does check his apartment. Sip at Wayne Manor. His gym says he hasn't been there in a week. Maybe I'm desperate. Maybe Does found something.
Vic, guess who came by? Nope, but close. In Dick Grace's apartment. Jericho and Donna are joined by former Titan himself, Roy Harper, Speedy. And no, we're not going to joke about the Outlaws or a death or a certain thing about a certain China Cat. I keep telling you, when I read these comics, we're going to treat it seriously. So, no callbacks, and I'm not going to reference a certain awesome reviewer's jokes. Those are for him and for him only. Me, on the other hand, I'm going to treat these stories with the pathos they deserve. Okay, so maybe once in a while with some snark. I can't help it. It's Roy, Speedy. Dick sent him to get some files. Roy, Vic wants to know where he's gone. He didn't say.
So what are files for?
Just to get up to date on Titan stuff. He asked me to fill in while he was gone. Assuming the Titan's current head honcho gives me his blessing. That okay with you, Vic?
Hey, we can use it, pal. In fact, you want to take over for me? Be my guest. You guys find anything yet?
What's Zoe's sign? Something about break-in. Put Vic on hold. Hey, a secret safe. Been here a dozen times and never knew. How did you find it? Oh, a small path in the dust where the door opened. That boy never cleans, does he? Didn't know Joey was a detective. His mother's one of the best. She trained him well. What happened to Jericho's mom now that I think about it? Huh. Got research. Joey wants to know if you want to open it or should he? I don't want to feel totally useless. Here, let me try.
Don't know what's going on.
He found something. Dick's scrapbook. Jericho points to something on the page. Yeah, someone rips out some pages. Dick would never do that. That means whoever broke in here knows Dick. In Nightwing are one and the same. Zal! Chapter 2. Roots. It is the smell of sawdust that brings back the circus memories. The clamor, the confusion, and the cacophony of the circus. Dark eyes blaze with fire of recognition. Heavy footfalls quicken, and somber pace quickens. Dick Grace in his home. Home. But the years have not been kind. The paint is peeling where it once would have been fresh and promising. The animals sleep when they should be prowling in their cages, snarling for their dinner. The circus used to be anxious with anticipation. Now it's yawned to slow motion. What's happened to this place, he wonders. Has it really been that long? Eleanor! An elephant proceeds to caress Dick's head. Is that you? You remember me? Well, cliches are based on fact, aren't they? You really stink. Dick sits down and proceeds to get some water. Doesn't a boss elephant man wash you down? You used to love it when I scrubbed you clean. Then I saddle up a your little howdah and we ride through the small towns. Remember how they all stared. Gotta admit, I loved watching them gawk at us. God, it's like it was yesterday. Mom and Dad doing their passing leaves and iron jawing it. Me hanging around Clown Alley, watching all the Joeys go through their routines. I didn't think I missed it that much, but...
Hey, you! What are you doing out here?
Jack, is that you?
How does you know my name? Who are you?
You don't recognize him? That's Dick Grayson.
Little Dick, eh? Come on, no way.
Yeah. Calling me a liar? Swiftly, Dick Grayson leaps onto the man's back, does a backflip, landing perfectly. Come on, try and get me. Ha! Some things never change. You always fell for that.
It's been years.
It's been a lifetime. I thought you two left for Circus de Vegas right after I went.
You know, Jack, speaks soft, but soft-hearted. But you stuck too much. The boss needed help, so he came back.
Hey, Dick. What brings you to this dog and pony show? God, Harry, you're still here? You know me, Dickie. They tried using the crowbar, still couldn't put me out. Harry? He's asleep.
He's drunk. He's on state these days.
Oh, in other news, the Titans are in Raven's mine. So, unable to take out Raven's world, the digital world, and apparently the field era doesn't matter. I swear, if we find out in the next chapter that Discord is still existing, I'm calling foul. Elsewhere, Cadence was beginning to awaken. Foul! Call foul! Cadence, Jester said to her softly, please wake up. Cadence's eyes peeped open so you could see the gang looking at her. Thank goodness you're alright. Cadence felt a weak smile come to her face. I had the weirdest nightmare. I dreamt the world was ending, shining armor and flurry heart were... She stopped when she noticed everyone looking at her with grim expressions. And her husband and daughter were nowhere to be seen. Woo! I'm single again! Anything, she didn't even recognize where she were, or the others were. This was the most unusual house where everything seemed so topsy-turvy. Some furniture was on the ceiling and the walls. There were cases of three-dimensional stairs or weird directions. Do you guys think Zeus counts as a creator god? What about some of the other pantheons? A chandelier sticking out of the floor, some upholstery was flowing out weightlessly. Sasuke came out of the kitchen with a trace of tea. Well, look who's still waiting for a thank you. Cadence began to tremble with worry. None of the others had the heart to tell her it was no dream. They didn't have to. Oh, thank God for a minute there. I thought I was going to be linked to that old ball of tea forever. Jester's blood ran cold hearing this. Currently were gone, along with everything else she and her friends ever knew. Discord brought it to alter his place in his old dimension, which was unaffected by the ravaging, thanks to a hunch that Discord had tried. Don't ask. Just take some headache pills. It'll be faster. Remember that dark powder Twilight made? Well, Celestia gave it to me for safekeeping. The others all got to Celestia as he confirmed it was true. Anyway, since my reality bending couldn't do anything, figured since that power contained the essence of the Dark Zone, I could spread it across parts of my home dimension, so the Dark Angels would think that this place had already been hit. I can't believe it actually worked! Well, they are dumbasses. Thankful as everyone wanted to be, how can you express it after they just went through what they had lost? Can't you be a little more supportive? Asked Yasha. What do you expect me to say? My sorry isn't going to change what happened. I'm going to bring things back. And if you really think I don't feel about this deep down, well, you're wrong. I don't care. She's right, said Jester. So that's why I felt this happened. I left the mirror activated and didn't shut it down. Nobody paid attention. Nobody looked. You know, if this was on purpose, I would understand. But this is more like bad maintenance. This makes it even stupider when you think about it. Here's why I had to try to argue with what it was, to say it was a mistake. Then I realized Discord was right. Nothing could be said or admitted to could change all they had lost. My family, sobbed Yang. Never got to see him one last time either. Ruby was trembling with sadness and shaking misery as he thought of all the hundreds of friends he left behind, as well as her family and the Cakes. Because, as we all know, since they're not by blood, they're not family. Because remember, your only family is by blood. All the ponies felt this way, not as horrible as Celestia and Luna. Can't believe this has happened. After so many ages of guarding and protecting our world, now it's gone. Oh, sister, sobbed Luna. Will you two stop reading manga? Vex remained stood as a board, rather a trance look of horror and sadness. Seeing Spike among the invasive destroyed the world. Like such dark angel actions of the Dark Angels were arguably sickening. It cannot be denied that their dagger was not justified. Bullshit! You barely interfered. You barely did anything. You were stopped. Spike was a bit of an asshole, we know. Yeah, we should really start blaming him, said Keyleth. Rainbow sighed. Fact sighed. I can't go back. There's it about to go to. We'll have to take the fight to them. Yang suggested of Starlight Twilight. Can't you two create some sort of time spell to head to the past and stop this? Twilight and Starlight shook their heads. We don't have any magical items or potions to make any possible time travel spells, said Yasha. It's all lost in the ravishing with everyone else. Everyone then looked at Discord and Sasuke. He shook his head. I'm a reality bender, not a time traveler. I can't actually create things. I can only bend. Discord can't actually create things. You can only bend them. You cannot create things. Okay. Where did his throne come from? Who made that? Where did the glass that magically appeared in his hand come from? What I love is that when I try to say that Discord is a reality bender in the Rifts, there was a person out there who tried to say Discord's not a reality bender. He's a being of chaos. A being of chaos. Chaos. This is a part of reality. To that refer, I would like to ask, how do you explain changing the light of the bubbles, making night and day switch at will, creating a glass of chocolate milk out of nowhere, then drinking the glass and throwing away the milk, making it explode, and making the entire world look like it came out of a Dr. Seuss book? If that's not reality bending, then what is it? Oh, and I know you're going to have some fancy explanation that says, that's chaos magic. Chaos magic. Affecting the world. What's this reality? What's this changing the world around you? What's this reality? AKA reality bending! But I love this. I'm a reality bender, not a time traveler. Comics, please. Bing! Oh, look. Discord traveled back in time in the comics. Not to mention, time is a part of what class? Reality! Which means he can bend them! Wow! Amazing, isn't it? Reality is a part, time is a part of reality. As is space. Did you not think? If time is not a part of reality, then what is time? Besides, it wouldn't help, added Jester. Even if we could go back in time and stop the gate from blowing up, it wasn't odd to mention that angered the Dark Angels. Everyone remembered the Titans World Digimon universe were behind it as well. At least the field era of Inuasa remained untouched. That much they could tell. So Naraka tried to encounter and tried to steal Nobunaga, but that's fine. It was really starting to look hopeless. Yeah, it's getting boring by the second. I'm getting ready to just continue reading the rest of the rest of A Lonely Places of Dying People. This close. I am this close. Discord knew she was thinking this. He felt really bad he acted fast enough. It could have saved them all. So bad he went to sit outside the porch alone. I'm sorry. The idea of Discord just sitting off going doo doo doo. No. He'll have got it throwing him outside. I've never seen you like this before. Sasuke sighed. Hey, I never thought I'd say this. I had a fondness for Equestria. Sir, you were all a little upright against my fun ways, but well, this felt special to me. Keyleth put her hoof on his back, covering him. Thank you for saving me and my friends. At least we have all each other to do that now. Sasuke looked almost like he would cry. Yeah, I guess you're right. Noah continued to sit at the porch while all the others stay inside, softly letting out their emotions and pondering what they could possibly do now. Meanwhile, back with the assholes! They never felt so wonderful. Yeah, I mean, I caused an apocalypse and I feel good too. Feels so great not having to be restricted and following a boring schedule anymore, being tangible and not being able to do things when they were alive. Feel or care about it at all. Wait, you mean you did care about this? So, this means that all this talk about not caring and being okay with this, being okay with being just meditating, taking in the dark energy, and just relaxing, that was all bullshit, wasn't it? Because you just said it felt so great not having to be restricted. That means you cared! True, they ravaged every single dimension and world that they could find. Obviously not every single world, because apparently time was still hanging around, Raven's mind, the digital world. But now they had controlled pretty much all of existence as there was. Not possible. They were free to rebuild and recapture a great deal. Using their now unrestricted powers, the angels took remains of every single building and landscape they destroyed, remodeled and shaped it into eerie-looking but magical and bustling cities and lands. Oh boy, methinks Mike is about to write a utopia! Many of the buildings seem to be giant mountains or castle and tower shaped. The angels use their dark powers to build places of fun and enjoyment, like arcades, dance halls, and just about everything. Yep! Ladies and gentlemen, we present to you what Micah thinks paradise is. Arcades and dance halls, skate parks, and everything. And female dark angels that are just artificial beings or robots. They're spiritless drones to help liven up the mood. The men were deprived of the opposite gender. So, once again, you still cared. Oh, I just realized. This is Micah's utopia. This is Micah's perfect woman, guys. Okay, sit back and think about it. This is Micah's perfect woman. Spiritless drones who do nothing but obey their master, just walk around, and are only there to be accompaniment for the man. That's right, people. Micah thinks that the perfect woman, that the best companion for a guy, and yeah, I'm saying guy because there's no way Micah would ever think of any other relationship in existence, but the perfect female is a robot. Spiritless, emotionless, and obeys her master to the letter. With no argument, no fuss, no muss, and is willing to lick his boot. That is the perfect woman. A robot. Cold and emotionless, and only there to serve your needs. Fuck you, Micah. I would rather be reading Violence Jack. And for those of you who think that this is one of those comments of, aha, I knew you would like it. No, I'm not saying I would like Violence Jack. I'm saying that this fic, in comparison, which is, a thing to compare and contrast, is worse than Violence Jack. And I would rather be writing Violence Jack because Father's Jack would be more enjoyable than this. Of course, there were new food stands, drink bars, businesses, not even any currency to be exchanged, or day or night. They were still dead. Things like money and food and boring business meant nothing to them, and were not needed. Yep, I had a feeling. This way, Mikey could live and be happy and not have to worry about anything ever again. No breeding or mating either. Boo! Females were artificial anyway. I don't know. You can have a lot of fun with an artificial woman. Being control populating every world around, there was no overcrowdedness. Sure, blah, 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 blah. Bustling greatly, especially for Nobunaga, Divas, and Beast Boy. Just how many Dark Angels were per era? Erebus graciously allowed them to become practically the mayors or generals of their own respective worlds, seeing as their formers and allies that brought into ravaging. Ah, nepotism. The two Dark Angels bumped into each other. They felt no pain. They were dead. Their airy ways, they were expressive apologies. Please excuse me. I'm terribly sorry. They didn't have to speak that way. It was not that it mattered. Oh, I get it. Once again, Mike, it's Utopia. No one ever says a mean thing or has a grumpy thought. Again, Mike totally thinks of Care Bears logic. I'm surprised this entertainment list didn't say, I'm a fan of Care Bears and only Care Bears. Erebus himself was still remaining whatever left of his battered dark zone, keeping watch for all the other realms as supreme dark ruler. Again, no villain to see here. I felt not such ease in eons. Solely wondrous to rule over all creation. Except for time and except for the past. You remember how eons upon eons ago, he and his fellow gods were to rule almost this exact way when they created creation and all existence. What? He and his fellow gods were to rule like this? Mind controlling everybody? Forcing everybody to live the way you want them to? Oh my God! You're horrible! No wonder you're cruel. You don't want freedom. You want everybody to bow down and subvert you. You want everybody to worship at your feet. Once again, another corrupt being who thinks himself as a god and thinks that just because he created everything means he's all powerful. God, it was Kratos was in here. Unfairly robbed of their dignitaries and hopes and dreams, which killed them and sent them to the darkness. That the dark energy took. That you could have helped, stopped. Taking the world for all the punishment and suffering he and his clan endured, and to him there was not a mortal left to contend with. Asshole. You know, you're not really denying TK's point here, you know. This late century suddenly approached him spoken the language. My Lord Nobunaga has arrived. Says he must speak with you. Erebus answered in plain English, I will come forth. Sentry bowed and let Nobunaga come forth. He explained what civilians told him. What? Are you sure of this? I am not, my lord. I was informed by the passer, but my passer. English is a dead language. He claims there are two mortals resembling Lady Kagami and Yuasa. He gone instantly. Erebus pondered deeply. He thought all mortals had been wiped out. Time warp that allows passes from the present to my original era remains functional. No, da! You cannot conquer the past and gone. This is could possibly be a danger to us, even by some miracle or any moral survivor conquest. There's nothing they can do to change what is and what shall be. Yeah, there is! Future is time is a river, asshole! It changes, it diverts, it moves, it flows. Nobunaga excused himself and went to his own dimension, leaving Erebus to ponder about this more. Nobunaga ran into the other way. The other three mayors on his way. Are they mayors, generals, or rulers? I don't know. I don't think of this stuff beforehand. You obviously don't. You just want to move the plot forward. What up? Nobunaga told him. Dude, you serious? You can't be amoral. So we blew them all into darkness. Freezing! Spike remembered how Princess Key is selling fast before he could destroy her too. Fred summoned the points and Quester survived. Right, Spike? Also surrounded. Answered Spike. One more people in place survived than we thought. Harris did not seem concerned. Here they are. They cannot stop us, said Davis. There's who knows how many of us Dark Angels and our new Lady Drone companions. Beast Boy agreed. Besides, it's not like they could damage us anymore. Even try to battle us. All the dark aura absorbed over the aeons were like the perfect force not to be reckoned with. So, question. What if, say, holy light from another creator being were to come in? You just said that the only reason why they're so powerful is because they got a creator god on their side. So, what about the creator light? I mean, opposing forces and all that. I mean, other than you writing them, Mike, and of course, you write them as invincible, which is dull, boring, and uninteresting. Because we all know what you're trying to do, and I'll get to that when I get there. As the days passed, it was enjoyed playing, no actual time being. Dark Angels felt they were having fun and enjoyment. Other worlds were having a different story. Feeling her, Kagome was still sad from her heartbreak. He also brought her back to the palace where she was placed in a futon, and a cold cough was placed on her forehead. And he also told the group everything. Poor Kagome. Imagine coming back home and finding it ruin and destruction. Sago clenched her fist and looked down hard at herself, knowing the feeling too well. Sorry, Sago, I didn't mean... It's alright, Shibbo. She all focus on Kagome right now. Indeed, said Moroku. After a shock she had, she was becoming a worse illness. He also cringed at the thought and felt hurt for Kagome too. Moroku looked over to him. You're certain the Dark Angels did this? Positive. Saw with my own eyes. You were no longer intangible. You were definitely responsible. Nobody needed to question now. It was obvious something serious had happened in the present day. More anger and aggravation from the Dark Angels, such as they ravaged the worlds. You should never anger the gods, said Moroku. They could be capable of far more than any demon we ever seen. I'm sorry. Once again. Demons! Ultimate destruction! Ripping out a person's heart! Feeding on their flesh and bones! Making them die slowly! Dark Angel! Snap. I don't feel so good. Yep! Far more capable! No, I'm sorry. Yep. You keep putting words into these guys' mouths and it doesn't work. Shippo began to feel afraid. What if the Dark Angels decide to destroy our world next? Well, technically he already did, so... The helmet Kagome's telling, centuries away. Here, we're safe as long as no one tries to anger the Dark Angels, which I'm going to do, because somebody hurt my girl. It's concerning the entire group. Remembering Naraku was probably plotting something as well. Being the Angels couldn't bear the thoughts of what happened. I realized Suya had overheard them and was outside in the royal garden. Now she was worried too. Nobunaga, Carol. In the years, when she heard what Inuasa said, Nobunaga held to obliterate Kagome's world. It's also astounded to learn that Kagome had come for the future as well. Still, Nobunaga, how could you do such a thing? Princess continued to think. Thought back to all the times how Nobunaga despised killing, protected her husband from being slain by Inuasa. Watching tears come to her eyes and pulled herself together. Inuasa was right. The ravaging hadn't happened and wouldn't for hundreds of years. But it did not make Suyu feel better, especially overheating about Naraku and his plans. Nobunaga, I could warn him. Maybe I could. It was tranced by her husband calling to her. Princess? Lord, forgive me. I was far away, Carol. Her husband smiled at her. I was coming to check you to see if you were well. Seems there are many who are lost in thought today. Let me ask my lord, Carol. Yes, Princess. Suyu took a moment to select her words carefully. I overheard our friends talking. You speak of great danger. I fear Nobunaga's spirit could be involved, Carol. Is it possible we find Nobunaga and warn him? Kimo looked uneasy about this and hesitated. My lord? You have not. I understand your feelings. I feel no different. But given all the danger we've faced so far, too dangerous for us to simply venture out. Perhaps he would not hear me out. All he had witnessed. The royal couple continued to ponder over what to do. Translation: doing what Mike and his characters do best. Sit on their ass and just wait for something to happen. In the digital world, refugee camps were set up with tents, beds, and many friendly Digimon from around the way and gathered foods and supplies to feed our sorry survivors. Digitamon's restaurant was working non-stop, preparing meals and gathering food for the people. Who is going to do all the dishes? Digitamon groaned. Still, it didn't seem too much of a problem at first. Many of the children didn't feel like eating. They didn't even feel alive anymore, cuddling up and dying. Not a single soul could blame them. Some of the lead Digidestined feel like that too, especially Tai. You know, Tai, who's more hot-headed than Davis. Come on, Tai, you should eat. How can I eat? Lost everyone I loved. My parents, my sister, a woman I cared for. Don't know how I could go on. Matt said, gave him a huge smack on the face to step out of it. Matt, snapped Sora. Replied Matt. Everyone can say anything. Tai bolted upright. Plus the back. Thanks. Yeah, I guess. Understand those two. Maybe instead of a few dirt mounds, graves, even ones representing what was lost. Some of the others showing remorse. World, this is for the family. Loved ones, this one is... Am I just copying a certain scene from the first series? He got around. Tai and Mike gazed at one of the mounds for all the people who were lost. Felt TK and Kari were among them. Gatomon and Patamon cooked Kari and TK a meal, consuming of seaweed, clams, and tiny fish caught from waters cooked over a vampire. Naturally, the two were not impressed with the meal, or the taste of cooked seaweed. Hey! Nori's pretty dang good! Get used to it. I've been eating for a year now since I was sentenced here. Kari was brave and ate some. At least it was apple. What happens now? Kari looked at it again. Don't know. Can't go back to our world. And today's actor is... Rolling again. Silence. Begin the arrow's ways. Kakarot! 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 He looked up across Kari. He only looked down grimly before looking back down at her own plate, making him feel worse. For the way he treated her and all the others. But there was no way in this or any other world he could possibly make up for it. Gatomon and Patamon could sense the tension between the two, didn't like it. Nothing bad happened to him right away, said Patamon. Brawly obviously didn't tell him how he acted before. Worry about what's going to happen when Jedi or the Far Guardians discovered they were here. Suddenly there was a rumbling. What's happening? Uh-oh, said Patamon. Even all the Digimon in the war feared the shaking, dove down into the deep. The lead team and all the refugees around him held on tight as the digital world continued to tremble. Izzy, what is this? Asked Tai. Izzy's laptop, still functioning inside the Disney World, looked at the seismograph. It's a digital wave shift. Yeah, because all the computers are gone. There's never been so many people in the digital world at once before. The overcrowdedness is causing a misbalance in the weight masses. Then just disconnect and reboot and add more data. Come on! Come on, Izzy, you're a computer nerd. Izzy's right. That's what Jedi appeared before everyone. All the refugees gawked in awe. Sorry for what happened to you before sooner. Four Guardians and I were most disturbed what happened to your world. Yet begin to extend our regrets. What's all this shaking now? Jedi explained. We expected the survivors would come here to flee from the ravaging. It seems our calculations are a little off. This is a world still to meet the requirements of the weight masses caused by all your humans. The team was growing nervous. But I thought the digital world shifted all the time. Yeah, but for the sake of the plot. It's only because all of you came here settling at once. The explanation of an expansive brim cars for passing over it, and how bridges can only take so much weight on them at once. It made a great amount of weight, but ordinary day traffic. A huge tank carrying a large house came with the bridge in place of all the cars. Consequently, the weight of the house and tank is the same as ordinary traffic. But the question is, can the bridge take all that
Wait, in one solid mass going across?
Yes, it could. It has. How do you think new houses come in?
You know, the bridge will collapse under so much pressure. You know what? It's your faulty science. You do what you want.
Wait a minute, are you saying that Disney World can't handle all the pressure with the people coming into that once?
Fortunately, I can answer. There was another tremor. That answer your question? Getting worse. The Guardian and I will do everything we can to sort this out.
And you can't?
We'll have to start summoning you back.
Send us out? Back to our world that was completely ravaged by darkness?
Where no one could possibly survive?
It's the only way. We don't do it, the digital world will be destroyed. Everyone's in, he'll go too.
We will come to that. Just in case, you better prepare yourselves for the worst. I need to assist it to you.
Before you can protest any further, Jedi and Fast, leaving the group deeply concerned about their task, choosing who would leave and who would stay.
Yeah, in Raven's realm, they're having more discussions and talking to Raven's mental people. And then they're talking about the people that they fought. And of course, can't have a OC villain without putting down the canon villains now, can we? By merely saying that Trigon was merely a demon lord attempting to control Earth. You know, besides putting into fire, causing death, causing everybody to suffer horribly. But just merely a demon lord. And trying to say that Erebus is the Lord of Darkness, a co-creator, that all that is, and with powers unimaginable, would be. I thought bigger.
Tells the story of creation of everything. That there were more like him. He's responsible for many elements that helped create. Among them, the Night Spirit Kirin, fiancé of Erebus, also one responsible for his imprisonment. So, asked Ruby, what does this mean?
Does he see? Asked Jester. If Erebus existed in all these eons, also we can connect to remaining creators, and can ask us to help recreate whatever is destroyed.
Employees at Discord began to have high hopes, until Sasuke pointed out, one thing, where do you even intend to start looking for these creators? It could be anywhere in any realm. What's to say these realms haven't been taken over by the darkness?
He's right to know, as Vax. What we'll do, search every single dimension in hopes of finding them? Twilight and Raven looked straight in the eye, and both C and Twilight intended to do just that.